LeBron James all the way in.
And here comes Simmons the other way, 3-on-2. Simmons eludes the defender and lays it in with that. Certainly the length altered that shot. How did it go up steps?
Yes. Let's move on to just a couple little trades, just we can discuss and then move on. Let's get my New York Knicks out of the way.
Yeah, let's get them in.
3-team trade: Dallas, Denver, New York. Dallas gets a second-round pick in Doug McDermott.
Doug McBuckets.
Dougie McBuckets. Denver gets Devin Harris, right?
Devin Harris, I think, yeah.
Just Devin Harris. Let me make sure. They got Devin Harris and a 2018 second-round pick. And then the Knicks get Emmanuel Mudiay.
Yeah.
For Dallas, I mean, it's whatever. Doesn't really matter. I mean, they got a young, decent player in Doug McDermott, and they got a pick out of it. Same thing goes for the Nuggets, other than the fact that they got a veteran to maybe help teach Jamal Murray, Gary Harris. That's a good trade for them, and they got the pick. And the Knicks, who are the most interesting, obviously, out of the three, not only because they're my beloved team, but because they actually got the most interesting player out of the deal. They got Emmanuel Mudiay. I'm actually impressed that the Knicks made this deal, whether it pans out or not. This is not a trade that the Knicks usually make, and I'm really happy that they did it. There's the whole discussion about secondary drafts and giving a player 3 years in the league, and if they don't work out, teams try and take a chance on them just to see if maybe a new locale can help boost their play in the league. This is a great move for the Knicks because they usually don't do that. So to go out and get a guy like Emmanuel Mudiay, who actually does have a really high ceiling, even though he's been particularly bad in the NBA so far, it's a good chance to get an offensive, tall point guard in the NBA. And now if the Knicks can manage to figure out, like, let's make him a 14-point per game point guard. He's 6'6" or 6'7". Frank Ntilikina is 6'6". You can play two big guards who are still pretty quick. One of them is more defensive focused. Hopefully Mudiay can become an offensive focused point guard. It's a good move because it has high upside, and all they gave up was an afterthought player in Doug McDermott and then a 2018 second round pick, which we know the value of second round picks isn't that high. You get lucky in the second round. It doesn't usually happen. So that one I like. What do you think about it?
The only thing I'm questioning is the Emmanuel Mudiay to the Knicks. Like, to me, it just feels like they're giving up on Frank Ntilikina, even though I don't think they are. But I think what it does for Ntilikina's, morale and psychological thinking is that, like, oh, look, they brought in another young point guard to potentially take more minutes away from me. I could be potentially screwed. And that's where I'm coming from, is because I think that what this does for him is that it's like, okay, this is more competition. Maybe it's the competition, to light a fire underneath me and get better. But, I mean, other than that, I don't think it was too bad. You got rid of Doug McDermott, who...
I like Doug McDermott, so I was a little sad to see him go, but it's all right.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that would have been better is getting rid of Joakim Noah, but...
I agree. I think what this boils down to is the trade itself is good, and the idea of the trade is great. It's the fact that Jeff Hornacek is still playing. Hornacek, is still playing Jarrett Jack.
Yeah.
Just why? Like, what are you even doing? He came in with the hopes of making this team low playoff contenders, just because of veteran experience. So why are we still playing a 34-year-old guy in the minutes that these young guys could be getting better?
Maybe they know that Frank Ntilikina's going to actually help them win games, and they want to kind of wait until next year so they can get a better pick. I mean, that's my only thinking. Because if I'm like you, if I know that my team's not going to make the playoffs and I'm not doing anything, I'm just going to play my young rookie and let him just ball out.
I mean, I like your idea. It's a nice little conspiracy. Like, maybe they think Frank is a lot better than right now than most people do. Like, I don't necessarily think Frank, from what I've seen so far, as much as I like the way he plays, I don't think he's making them win games right now.
Yeah.
He's not that good in my eyes. But Jarrett Jack, I mean, he has to play to win. That's where he's at in his career. So why keep playing him? I mean, if anybody, they should start Mudiay. Give him the rest of the season to work on his game. Because he hasn't shown that he's capable of doing anything of value on the floor yet. So let him try when it doesn't matter, and then we can lose games if he's bad.
Yeah.
That's the best way to do it. Let's move on from that trade, too. Kind of talked about that one a little bit too much. One of the under-the-radar trades I actually like, I like Detroit getting James Ennis.
Detroit getting James Ennis. Yeah, it's not a bad trade.
I like that trade. I mean, they kind of need, like, the 3-and-D guy, bigger 3-and-D guy, and James Ennis is, like, a good off-the-bench option at that. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. They didn't give up anything for him, either.
Yeah, I think it's good. The only thing that sucks, I think Stanley Johnson could become a 3-and-D guy, but the three-pointer's not there yet.
No.
But Ennis has a better three-point shot then.
I like that trade. All right, this is the last one I wanted to talk about with you.
Okay.
I thought this was the biggest win-win other than the Lakers of the trade, other than the Lakers-Cavs trade of the deadline, and that's Orlando and Phoenix, Elfrid Payton for his second-round pick. It's a win in the eyes of Orlando in the sense that they get rid of a guy like Elfrid Payton, who actually makes their team a lot worse. Like when he was on the floor, made that team exponentially worse.
Right.
So it's not that great in the sense that they couldn't get a first-round pick out of a guy or just a player out of a guy that was the 10th overall pick a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But it already makes your team better to get rid of him. And they did get something in return. And they don't have to pay him. So it works out well in the sense that they get rid of a guy. Phoenix has arguably the worst point guard situation in the league because of injuries and trades that they've made. So they're already bad. Go out and take a shot on a guy like Elfrid Payton and hope he can develop a shot, which is what he needs to be decent. He just can't shoot. And he can't really play defense either. But he can't shoot is the biggest thing about him. So take a shot on him. They didn't give up that much. It's just a second-round pick. And now you have a guy to go along, Devin Booker. Maybe it works out. Maybe it doesn't. But they didn't give up anything to offset the value of what they got back.
Yeah, I think Magic are just in full rebuild mode, and they want Aaron Gordon to be the centerpiece of that rebuild. Yeah. The only thing I'm a little bit curious about is the fact that the Phoenix Suns have so many point guards on the team, and they draft so many point guards and guards in general. Mm-hmm. They're like adding Elfrid Payton is just like adding, 4 quarterbacks to your starting lineup. That's like good. Like, I just think that although that Elfrid Payton could be potentially a diamond in the rough, I just think adding 20 point guards to your lineup isn't going to really do anything for you.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing. Right now they don't have all their point guards. Brandon Knight is hurt. Isaiah Cannon just had the terrible injury. Devin Booker is not even a point guard, but he's been playing point guard.
Tyler Ulis.
I mean, he's not good. Tyler Ulis is not good. Sorry, Tyler Ulis. I mean, he's too small. He's just not that great in general. So they just improved their point guard situation for the rest of the season. And it's the same thing on Moutier. It's just a buy low in secondary draft, give him a chance.
Yeah.
And I'm always a fan of the secondary draft. Like I like a team taking a shot on a young guy who hasn't gotten anywhere near his potential because you just never know if the right situation makes him better.
Yeah. I mean, I'm have to disagree, but I can see where you're coming from in certain aspects, but I just feel like with all the drafting of point guards, with all the drafting of just guards in general, there's no way the Phoenix Suns could ever get better. Josh Jackson is still a work in progress to me, and that's like the first time in a long time I feel like they haven't drafted since Alex Len or Dragon Bender.
Dragon Bender's been playing pretty good lately.
He's been playing pretty good, but I don't remember when they drafted him. But, it just feels like they've always gone guard heavy in Phoenix, and that's where I just kind of like roll my eyes at the trade, just because I just think, okay, you're adding another guard to an already guard heavy team.
Yeah. I would say, like, if Isaiah Cannon and Brandon Knight were still healthy, this trade makes no sense. But those guys are clearly out for at least the season.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt them, because at the end of the day, even if he sucks, which he did for the Magic, Elfrid Payton that is, they can just get rid of him, It just doesn't matter. It's a loan just to see if he's decent. So, it's all right. Let's move on, Bernie.
All right, let's move on.
I don't think there's any other trade discussion we need to have today.
Nope. Ready to move on?
Okay, let's do it.